weeks after the killing of 17 Nigerian army personnel, the people of Okuama community who are still in hiding have appealed to the state and federal government to come to their aid with healthcare and other facilities.
14th of March incident, the people of Okuama have been on the run and most of them hiding, perhaps in the forest around their areas. A spokesman of the people who was interviewed by a local media house says the fleeing children, women and men of Okuama community who are still hiding in bushes have no water, food, shelter and medical care. According to him, they have lost some persons to sickness and snake bites and appealed for assistance.
So the people are dying. So no medical attention to these people. We are calling on federal government to come to our rescue, to rescue our people from the bush.
They appealed further that they have no issue with the military, begging that they should be allowed back to their community to enable them continue their lives. Meanwhile, some days ago, natives of Orere community, which is 18 kilometers away from Okuama community, have raised alarm over alleged invasion of their community by the Nigerian army in search of weapons and escaping refugees from Okuama community.
This community Orere is not even by the river bank. So there is nothing connecting us to Okuama. Even if they are investigating what transpired in Okuama, the way and manner the Nigerian army is going about it, I think is not right.
Thank you so much. I'm your brother, this is great. Will help ever come for the people of Okuama? Neighboring communities within Okuama, communities within Uheli local government in Delta State, communities in Bayelsa that is being ravaged, will help ever come for them? Will the church leadership speak up for the innocent Nigerians in those communities? I will present Vanguard newspaper reports and other papers. The journalists are writing, explaining what is going on. People are speaking up, explaining what is going on. You will see a video of former Emir of Kano, Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi. He wrote to President Buhari complaining about the violation of the right of herdsmen by the military. He said Buhari did not act according to the content of his letter. As soon as Tinubu came to power, he visited Sorok, presenting the human rights violation of herdsmen and demanding that the president should act.
A number of reasons. First of all, that of the Horejo Tabita Pulaku, and I'm therefore concerned about the issue of herdsmen-farmer clashes, and he's also concerned, and we discussed steps that will need to be taken to begin to look at some of those issues. But in particular, I came to appeal to him on the case of the 37 herdsmen who were bombed by the Air Force in Nasarawa State a few months ago, which we wrote a letter to President Buhari on. And we have now written a reminder because it's a matter we do not want to be swept under the carpet. And the president has asked me again to send him that letter, and I'm sure that he will look into the matter. The third major issue we discussed,
to grant justice to those herdsmen. These are herdsmen who have been involved in one case of a killing of farmers, in one case of destruction of farms of innocent people under the guise of looking for grazing route or whatever. Sanusi did not speak for the victims of the activities of those herdsmen. He did not speak for them. But he went to Asorok to speak for those herdsmen that their rights were violated by the military. They suffered injustice as a result of the operation of the military, activities of the military. Who will speak for those in the south? Who will speak for the innocent Christian who is just going about living his life, not committing any crime? Who will speak for those whose buildings have been razed? Who will speak for those who lost their means of livelihood? Church leaders, will you learn from the example of Sanusi? Will you learn from Sanusi's example? The Bible called on us to open our mouth and speak. Proverbs say, open your mouth, speak. If you close it, destruction. God called on us to grant justice. Do we actually read the Bible? Or is ministry only centered on tithe and offering and projects? One project to the other. When are we going to obey God to fight for the oppressed? As Psalm 82 called on us to do. When are we going on to obey God and partake of the fasting God asked for? As in Isaiah 58, verses 6 to 8. When are we going to obey God? Church leaders, will you actually speak up for the oppressed? When you see injustice, will you actually accept responsibility to speak up? It's so unfortunate. Error of omission is far more dangerous than error of commission. A word is enough for the wise. The people of Okuama are suffering in the forest. Many have lost their means of livelihood. Many are dying because of hunger and sickness, affliction. Children are suffering. For over 2 weeks, the situation there is getting out of hand. They are crying out, asking the president to help them. Can the wife of the president, who is a pastor, speak for the oppressed? We have said this method is not known to law. There should be commission of inquiry. Let us determine actually what happened. Who did what? And let the law be followed strictly. Let police do their work. Track down the perpetrators of any criminal activity, acts of murder. Let the police track them down and prosecute them according to the law. That is what we expect in a civilized society. Must we be going backward? Must we make mockery of ourselves? Those that always tell us how God will use Tinubu, how he is doing very well. Those that always tell us how God will use Buhari to find solution to the problem of Nigeria, which is not of God, which God never says so. Can they speak for the oppressed? You can say how Tinubu is doing very well with human rights violation, brazenly, which the military never even tried. You can say how he's doing very well. That's why the people of Okuama and other communities are living, neighboring communities are living in the forest. Doing very well. Women and children, no school, nothing, no hospital, no more, no food, no water. Under a democracy. State governor cannot enter. No humanitarian assistance, nowhere. There's no war going on. But even in Gaza, humanitarian assistance is going on. The media, the journalists, they are moving freely, recording whatever is going on. Not in Nigeria. Who did we offend? But you see, it's a question of time. God will rise up to save this country. Let us share this video and be part of what God is doing by subscribing to the channel.